how I got involved was I came back from Iraq in end of October 2006. Within 60 days, I put a loaded 9mm to my temple and I pulled the trigger. A squib load, a manufacturing defect in the ammunition, is the reason I'm alive. I have 5 attempts like that. I've slit my wrists. I've tried to overdose. After my final suicide attempt in November of 2013, the VA finally got me actual weekly counseling every week. And one week, my doc had an issue on the inpatient floor and said, I can't meet with you. Can you meet with my intern? That intern slid a piece of paper across the desk and said, I think this will help you. Stick it in your pocket. Don't open it till you leave. Opened it up and it said, Google MDMA PTSD. And I discovered there was a clinical trial in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, right across the bridge, called, applied, and was accepted. I legitimately didn't think it would work, but was willing to try anything at that point after multiple suicide attempts, hospitalizations, and that doesn't even count the hundreds of times I stood on a bridge and just walked away. I had run out of options, and I went through it. And that was 7 years ago. Interestingly enough, my refrad date from the Army in Iraq was November 22nd in 2006. I took my first dose of MDMA in my entire life, November 22nd, 2014. And so this November 22nd, I will have been healed of PTSD as long as I had it. But to the second part of your question, why veterans? One, we're one of the few groups that everyone will listen to, and if they don't, they typically get in trouble for it. But also, our trauma is socially acceptable. Nobody, men, women who are raped, victims of domestic violence, all the other ways you can be traumatized, don't want to go, on Hill Rising and talk about their trauma, whereas veterans have a unique ability that our trauma is viewed as socially acceptable. And the veterans who have done it know that this works. And we all have friends who haven't done this, who haven't been able to have access to this, that, we get a call at 2:00 in the morning and we spend 3 hours talking them out of killing themselves. And we know there's a solution, and military have a hard time leaving their brothers and sisters behind.